if this show gets canceled because some of y'all continue to hold on to your false prejudices, I'm going to lose it. I'm back, baby! I'm not back and better than ever. If anything, I'm back and worse than ever. I've been gone. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't have an excuse. I don't know. I've been working on a video, but it's been more complicated than I thought, and I just didn't want to look at it. So I've just been living in a hole and doing nothing. I'm sorry. I've been doing not a lot, and that's my fault. This mess is right next to me. I haven't unpacked from trips like 2 weeks ago. Hello? Please don't fall. Ah! Let's try that again. Anyway, since I've been a bit indisposed, I went ahead and watched all of Insatiable in like 2 days, and oh boy, I know a lot of you didn't like season 1. A lot of you who don't like season 1 didn't watch season 1. You just read tweets online that talked negative things about season 1 and blindly believed it. Maybe you watched a first episode or two only after hearing negative things. Maybe you only watched the first 2 episodes and you just genuinely didn't like it because you felt it was offensive or whatever because you didn't continue to watch it to give it a chance. But if that is you, for the love of God, please watch season 2. I am begging you. I need this show. I need this show to come back. And if it gets canceled because y'all try to cancel it for some social justice stuff that is found on false grounds, the show is not at all doing what people accuse it of doing or saying or portraying people in negative lights like people accuse it of doing. It is just... They were like, all right, people didn't like us after season 1 and we did nothing wrong. So we're just gonna full send.
I'm still gonna send it.
I wasn't gonna talk about it. I was like, I've already made a video about Insatiable defending it, and people, some people agreed with me, some people didn't, and I really can't change people's minds, but I can't. I literally just finished season 2. I don't have like a point to this video. This is just another one of my videos where I hit record and started going, and I don't know where it's gonna end up, but I know that I'm going to do my best to persuade people to watch season 2 purely for my own selfish reasons, not even to defend the show anymore, okay? If it ends the way it did in season 2 and I don't get to find out anymore because you guys decided to have a stick up your butt about it, I'm gonna be so pissed. I already told you there's gonna be spoilers. That was your only warning. Episode 1 opens up with them getting rid of a dead body by having pigs eat it, okay? Then that episode ends with a girl getting strangled and having roses stuffed in her mouth and left in this pageant thing. And then the second episode, they have a memorial for her where they sing a song called Dead Girl. They wrote a song just to screw with her because all the girls hated her. And then, Patty has an eating disorder. People are like, oh, the show's fat shaming. The main character has an eating disorder. Of course, she has problems with her body and talks negatively about her body. That is not fat shaming. That is her shaming herself. So yeah, in theory, it's fat shaming, but she's not fat. But then even if she was, it's not fat shaming. She has self-esteem issues and she's shaming herself and no one else. And so they tried to get her help for her eating disorder, and it gets worse. The more help she tries to get for her eating disorder, the more she literally murders people. And I'm living for it because... Let me get there. And then Dixie from the first season, who pretended to be paralyzed from the waist down, actually gets paralyzed from the waist down and proves it by shoving a freaking fork in her leg like it's nothing. And then Brick decides to become a YouTuber, and that whole thing feels like a personal attack at me because it's just, I realize it's cringy, okay, I realize it. And yet here I am. Oh, sorry, is this award blinding you? Yeah, me too. It's just reminding me that I have a plaque for having the weirdest job possible. Brick, stay away. Save yourself because some of us are too far gone. And then Patty's mom returns and finds out that her breast implants that she got in Brazil for a 2-for-1 special are full of cocaine. And so these drug lords come to literally cut her boobs out to sell them. And Patty kills the drug lords, and instead of calling the cops because that's self-defense, right? No, they hide the bodies, and Patty's body count continues to rise. They think she killed Stella Rose, and turns out she didn't, but then at the end she does. And then she stuffs Stella Rose's body in a freaking suitcase, and then has to carry the suitcase around with her because they confuse it for her actual stuff. Ooh! And her trying to get the body in the suitcase was cinematic masterpiece, if I do say so myself. But while Patty's, you know, whatever, in prison for a little while, Bob and Coralie split their house down the middle, and then later he, like, tears apart a bunch of tampons. He tears apart tampons, because Coralie is trying to sell them with a little tassel on them, and so he just pulls the tassel off, and she's, like, heartbroken, and I'm like, can't you just... I don't know. I don't really understand that whole plot point, but it's there and I love it. And then, like, at some point, Coralie convinces some man who kidnaps her that the tampon is actually a bomb, and so she throws it at him and he ducks and she runs, and then he realizes, oh, it's a tampon. And honestly, at some point, I agree with Bob. He really lost everything, and Coralie and other Bob are just honestly living it up. They have each other. They formed this little bond through their mutual heartbreak over other Bob. There's two Bobs. Catch up. Bob Barnard faints at the sight of blood, and Bob Armstrong faints at the sight of people fainting. Someone's been held at gunpoint. Someone else is bleeding, so Bob Barnard passes out. Bob Armstrong sees him passing out, is about to pass out, and then Patty's mom gives him cocaine, and because of that, he saves the day. The cocaine from her boobs. The whole time, anytime something happens with Patty, you're like, you know, I never really considered her killing outside of bounds. You know, she killed Stella Rose by running over because Stella Rose did try to kill her first. She kills Christian because he was trying to get her to kill someone, so she saved that person's life, and it was self-defense, but then also she kind of lost her mind a little bit. But, like, again, can sort of look past it. I can excuse murder. I draw the line at enjoying it. Because then she kills the 3 drug lords, so her body count is, well, Stella Rose wasn't actually dead, but then she ends up dying, so we're gonna go ahead and count her. Christian, Stella Rose, 3 drug lords. Who was the 6th person? Oh yeah, her supposed dad, who ended up not being her dad. He's like backing up while she's yelling at him, and then he like falls off a cliff. Like he never thought to just, you know, a quick little making sure he wasn't backing into something else. He just kept staring forward, backing up. That's on him. And he could have fallen and she could have been like, 911, hello, man, fell, uh-oh. But I mean, she was already a murder suspect, so like maybe I get it, but at the same time she could have been like, he like fell. But then later it shows that she pushed him, and talk about an unreliable narrator, excuse me? Oh my gosh, I forgot the best part, I forgot to mention the best part of the whole thing. Someone's about to attack Patty, he's got something in his hand, he's about to hit her, and Nani saves Patty with, can I say this? Something sort of made of like silicone in a phallic shape that she happened to have in her purse for a different reason. And she pulls it out of her bag and whacks the guy with it and ends up knocking him to the ground and saves Patty's life. This show is a gift. This show is a gift. And if you guys take this show from me because you're mad about something that you don't even know about because you didn't watch the show because you saw some tweets and just blindly believed them, or you watched the show already prepared to hate it, or maybe there was a few things you didn't like that rubbed you the wrong way because you can't just allow comedy to happen, watch season 2 because it's so much better. And it's honestly, if you found the first season offensive, it's less offensive, okay? Throw that out there. It's less offensive. It's insane. More people die. It's more gory. It's insane. It's insane. If I lose this because people are mad over something dumb, you'll never hear the end of it. You already don't hear the end of it from me. I already talk about Insatiable in like half my videos, and people are like, oh, I liked her till she mentioned Insatiable. Bye. See you later if you don't like me because I like this show. Bye-bye. I don't care. And it ends with Patty being a serial killer. She finds out that she likes killing, that all the times that she killed, you know, sort of out of self-defense, you know, you go back and you see her smiling during it, and yeah, Bob, who tried to protect her the entire time, is in prison for the murders that Patty committed, but also the murders someone else committed, you know, and Patty's like pageant queen, and she's gonna try to help him by murdering the person who put him in jail because she enjoys it. Taking a moment of silence to just reflect. Craziness aside, this season was the best season, and it was so much funnier than the first season. It was so much more deep and emotional. I cried way more this season than I did last season. Could be because I watched it while really sleep deprived, but you know, who knows. I feel like in TV shows, the few times where there's a show where someone like accidentally kills somebody or has to do it out of self-defense, the way they kind of portray that person coping with it, I don't know. I've never dealt with it, so I can't attest to the emotions, but it always just, it feels like there's something missing. In this show, honestly, I don't know how, but like it hits the nail on the head of like that panic that the characters were feeling and the way they conveyed it. You know, at some points Patty and her mom are sobbing so much that they can't even like get the words out. They're choking, and it seems so real. Like how those actresses pulled that off, I'll never know. There's just not acting like that in most things, and I loved it. It was incredible. The story arc was incredible, and it was shocking the whole time. Like I could never see what was coming, and you know me, I love being taken by surprise by TV shows because if I can kind of predict what's coming, I get bored. Some cliches are cute to follow, but this one just made up its own. It just made up its own world. They saw all the backlash from season 1 and they were like, we're still gonna send it. When they said they were just getting started, they weren't kidding. The character development is incredible for each individual character. Everyone changes in sometimes the best ways, sometimes the worst ways, but I love it. It's just, it's genius, okay? Should I have had this in the background the whole time? Like, isn't that what YouTubers do? I'm not reshooting anything, so you'll just have to accept that that's gonna be in the background for the next few shots. And continuity never mattered. And oh boy, when Patty talks about her eating disorder, is it not at all sensationalized. Not only from someone who studied it in psychology, really in depth, but also someone who dealt with something similar. Holy crap. Like, they could not have done a better job. They could not have done a better job. It's so good. There is not representation like that in most media for like binge eating. Oh, it's so good, dude. At the risk of sounding like Curtis Connor. Dude, folks, watch the show. I haven't like eaten or slept very well in a year, but specifically like at least a week and a half, 2 weeks. So I'm gonna go try to stay alive. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.